Another gorgeous day in the village of somewhere in Ottawa, and this morning we're going to locate and drill holes for some T-nuts and for some wood screws. For the T-nuts we are going to have two sets. One set is going to be for bolting two modules together into a package using a piece of plywood that we call a carry plate. The other set is going to be for alignment bolts so that we can bolt a series of modules together without having to use clamps. And when we use the bolts, we're pretty sure that the track work is going to align up the way that it should, provided we do everything else in a reasonably accurate manner. So let's get started. The set of T-nuts that we're going to locate are those for the alignment bolts, and we have chosen dimensions that are going to be 6 inches from the end and 2 1/4 inches from the top. Whenever you're having to locate holes in a number of pieces, it's usually a good idea to take a couple of T-squares and set them up for your dimensions, and then you can locate them all at the same distance. The second set of T-nuts that we're going to locate are going to be 3 inches from the end and 1.5 inches from the bottom. The T-nuts for the bolts, alignment bolts, were measured 2 1/4 inches from the top, 6 inches from each end, and the bolts for the carry plates, the T-nuts were located at 1.5 inches from the bottom and 3 inches in from the ends. So here we've got the holes for the carry plates, and over here we've got the holes for the alignment bolts. Now we could go on and measure all the other 19 pieces. We've got a total of 20 pieces that we've got to locate. Now, that could be a bit tedious. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a little trick of the trade by drilling some.
We've set up our drill press and we've put in a 1/8 inch drill bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill some pilot holes in this piece of wood. And the piece of wood is going to act as a template. There's the pilot hole for the carry plate. There's the pilot hole for the alignment bolt. We've taken the end piece that we have previously drilled 2 holes in, one for the carry plates, another one for the alignment bolts, and we have clamped another end piece onto the first piece, both tops together, and when we're looking at the wood in on one and in on the second, now line things up. Transferred the hole for the carry plate onto the second piece. And we're going to do the same thing for the alignment bolt. However, that doesn't get the holes at this end transferred to the other end of our first piece. So let's see how we can deal with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece that we just finished drilling, the piece on the bottom, and we're going to flip it end for end so that we now have our pilot holes here and here, and we're going to clamp both pieces back together. And we're flush at both ends, and the top is nicely aligned. So let's go into that original hole. Through here, we've got them drilled all the way through, and let's take a look at things on the other side. So we take a look on the side that we first began with. Here we can see we've got our hole here for the alignment bolts and the hole here for the carry plates. So we now have a template in which the holes for the carry plates and the alignment bolts on each side are pretty much symmetrical. We now have to go on and mark the other 21 pieces. Let's get on with the job. So we've taken our template. We've got holes at one end for the carry plates and the alignment bolts and carry plates, and we have clamped an end piece onto the template, and we've got tops aligned with tops, bottoms on bottoms, and if we were to use our X-ray vision, we would see that we have in here and in on the other piece. So we now have things perfectly aligned, flush on both ends and flush on the top. This is what we're going to align the pieces that we're going to drill, top to top flush. So we're all set to start. Whenever I'm drilling through wood, I like to keep the drill bit here in wood chips so that they don't jam and break the drill bit. One end done. Flip it end for end. Holes don't have to be perfectly aligned because we can fix any small misalignments with some of the other steps that we're going to be following as we fabricate our modules. There we've got the 4 holes drilled, and one hole there, one hole there, one hole there, and one hole there. We're now ready to go on with the other 18 pieces. We're heading into the home stretch now. We've only got 5 more boards left to go. Checking to make sure that we're flush at each end. And we've got the top down on this level board. Check to see if we're even. How to adjust it a little bit. Sure that we're flush on the top, reasonably good. Turn on the drill press. These pilot holes that we drilled in that first end piece really makes it an easy job. Make sure that we're flush at each end and that the 2 pieces are flush on the top end. pretty good. On with the next board. Top in, down, make sure they're flush. Put on the clamp. Check to make sure we're flush again. We flush on the top. Yep. Tip the clamp a bit. Turn on the drill press. Drill the pilot holes. Once we've got this job done, what we're going to do is we're going to take a Forstner bit, and 1-inch Forstner bit. We're going to recess those pilot holes about 1/8 of an inch. When we install the T-nut, the washer part of the T-nut is below the top of the wood. But we'll go into that in more detail in a few moments. Keep on carrying on. We are now doing the 1x5s, and you'll notice that the 1x5s are a bit wider than the 1x4s, but we follow the same practice. Make sure that we're flush at both ends, and make sure that we're flush on the top ends of each one. Now, we measured for the alignment bolts being 2¼ inches down from the top, and that assumes that we're going to be using a 1½ inch thick piece of styrofoam, which is what we are going to be using. But if you were using a thicker piece of styrofoam, say a 2-inch, thicker than the 1½ that we're going to be using, then you would move the position of the alignment bolts down by an extra ½ inch. In other words, there would be 2 3/4 inches down from the top. Three more pieces to go. Here's the last of the 1x5 pieces. We're using the template for the 1x4s. Recall that we look at the carry plates at the bottom. We could make an adjustment for the extra ridge on the T-nuts for the carry plates on the 1x5, but we'll just keep it the same distance from the bottom. There. We're done with the pilot holes. On to the next step. It's always a good idea that after you've finished drilling the pilot holes to check and make sure that those little pilot holes correspond with alignment on the template. And what we've got here is you've got one of the 1x5 templates where we drilled it upside down and make sure that the top is on the template was in agreement with the 1x5, so we're having to re-drill those pilot holes. So we're going to check the rest of our end pieces to make sure that everything some serious drilling.
So we're visually inspecting our pilot holes in each of the end pieces against our template, making sure that they're offset properly, and everything seems to have lined up except for that one piece of 1x4 which we fixed. No problem.